The scene you're about to watch comes from the 2014 movie Whiplash, directed by Damien Chazelle and edited by Tom Cross. The story revolves around the character Andrew Neiman, portrayed by Miles Teller, and his new instructor Terrence Fletcher, portrayed by J.K. Simmons. In this scene, we will witness Neiman's first time playing in the prestigious Schaefer Conservatory Ensemble Band. Let's begin.
All right, gang, Whiplash. Little under tempo, okay? Neiman, just do your best. There we go. 5, 6, and.
The first things we should notice is 1. The colors of the characters, and number 2. The composition and body language of the characters. Fletcher is wearing all black, a symbol of power and fear, the most important wardrobe decision of the scene, arguably. He is also separated from the rest of the band musicians by distance and by the fact that he is standing while the rest sit. Something else of importance is the musicians beside Neiman himself. All of them, except for Tanner, wearing green, will ignore him throughout the scene. In terms of body language, I also wanted to point out the fact that Neiman's body language is quite relaxed here, up until when Fletcher begins to stop him and correct his mistakes. And we see a degradation of his confidence throughout the scene, which we can also clue in via the eye contact throughout the scene, as well as the small trumpet sound that plays through one of the stops of Neiman's playing. And right there, this is when the tension of the scene begins to build dramatically. We have seen Fletcher teach the students before in one scene, and this use of diegetic sound cutting out in sync with his motion clues us in to pay attention to Fletcher and Neiman.
Little trouble there. Let's pick it up at 17. Ready? 5, 6, and. Not quite my tempo. Here we go. 5, 6, and.
This use of sound and movement works wonders to build up the power of Fletcher over the students. As stated previously, his clothing represents power and fear. Also, however, the lower angle shots of him compared to the higher angles of Neiman and the other students constructs the image of him looking down upon them. Finally, the use of diegetic sound that comes close to feeling like non-diegetic sound builds the power of Fletcher, as he stops and continues the powerful sounds as he wishes, giving him a feeling of total power over the very scene itself.
Ready? Okay. 5, 6, and. Dragging just a hair. Wait for my cue. 5, 6, 7. Rushing. 5, 6, and. Dragging. 5, 6, and.
Before we continue this scene, as it's about to experience quite a change of tone, I would like to point out a couple things important to the upcoming change in scene. For the entire scene so far, we've witnessed Neiman's practice through steady, planted shots of medium to medium long ranges. Keep that in mind as we witness the true power of Fletcher here. Wow, that was certainly terrifying, while also being completely amazing. I didn't mention this before, but in every single shot of the scene, besides some musician reaction shots, Neiman is present, either with over-the-shoulder POV shots focused on Fletcher, or with high-angle shots of Neiman. This scene is all about Neiman's introduction to the sheer brutality of Fletcher's teachings, and it hits the breaking point right before the music stand is thrown. After the throw, the camera shakes, showing Neiman's terror, and close-ups are used right away for most of the scene here on out, from both Neiman and Fletcher, to highlight the high amount of emotion from both actors.
5, 6, 7.
In 4, damn it! Look at me!
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3.
No.
The impact of these slaps is greatened by the removal of a couple shots in between each slap, and the fact that Fletcher and Neiman switch sides on the shot for each hit.
Was I rushing or was I dragging?
Oh, no.
Count again.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Rushing or dragging?
Rushing.
So you do know the difference.
So from here on out, we see Terrence Fletcher here either lord over Neiman in the shot previous right there, or right up in his face, getting in there, completely morally just bringing down Neiman. It's a hard scene to watch, but it's also a total masterclass in terms of acting, especially from J.K. Simmons, who actually won an Oscar for this role.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Jesus fucking Christ! I didn't know they allowed retards into Schaefer. Am I to understand that you cannot read tempo? Can you even fucking read music? What is that?
8th note.
Yes, what is that?
Dotted 16th note.
Sight read measure 101. What are you, in a fucking a cappella group? Play the goddamn kit! Stop! Now answer my question. Were you rushing or were you dragging? Answer!
Rushing.
Oh, my dear God. Are you one of those single-tier people? Do I look like a double fucking rainbow to you? You must be upset. Are you upset?
No.
No, so you just don't give a shit about any of this?
I do give a shit about this.
Are you upset? Yes or fucking no? Yes, you are upset.
Yeah.
Say it.
I'm upset.
Say it so the whole band can hear you.
I'm upset.
Louder!
I'm upset.
Louder!
I'm upset.
You are a worthless, friendless, faggot-lipped little piece of shit.
Just a quick note before the next set of verbal assault occurs. The next thing he says is actually a nice little callback to a previous scene where Fletcher is quite nice to Neiman and asks him about his parents, which he then uses here to just cause more damage to Neiman.
Whose mommy left daddy when she figured out he wasn't Eugene O'Neill, and who is now weeping and slobbering all over my drum set like a fucking 9-year-old girl. So for the final father fucking time, say it louder!
I'm upset.
Carl. Start practicing harder, Neiman. Whiplash, bar 125, big boy tempo. 5, 6, and...
Well, this scene certainly was fun to watch, a little bit scary. I have to give credit to the actors here. I don't think that with just the editing alone this seemed to be as powerful as it is, but the addition of all the different camera angles used, the shakiness of the camera, the colors chosen for the characters, it all comes together along with J.K. Simmons as a terrifying Terrence Fletcher, and Mal Teller is an inexperienced, in the case of this certain ensemble, as a terrified drummer, and I think it all works wonderfully together, and that is why I'm a huge fan of this movie and the scene in particular.